Welcome to Cooking with Critters. It's cooking made easy. Hi, welcome back. Today we're going to go over how to keep your nice kitchen knife or chef's knife sharp. That's really important. A sharp knife is a safe knife. Remember that, if your knife is dull, it's much more easy for you to cut yourself, and you want to avoid that. Sometime in your career, yes, you're going to cut yourself a few times, but the less that's done, the better. So the way I usually sharpen my chef's knife is by using a whetstone, and there's different methods. If you look on the internet, you're going to see many different methods for sharpening knives. So I'm just going to show you what I do. So I use a whetstone, and this is kind of a coarse, not as coarse as they come, but it's kind of a medium coarse stone. And it comes with this oil. This is a sharpening oil, and you just put a little bit of that on your stone. And when it comes to the angle that you're going to draw your knife down the stone at, there are varying angles. You will hear many different angles on the internet. Just remember that the sharper your angle, so if you go more at 45-degree angle, the edge is going to be more durable, meaning it's going to last a lot longer, but it won't be quite as sharp. And then the smaller your angle, like some people recommend a 10-degree angle, your blade's going to be a lot sharper, but it's not going to last as long. So it really depends on what you're going to be doing that day with your knife. If you're going to be cutting sushi, or if you have to make super thin cuts on fine, delicate materials such as fish, then you want to do maybe a smaller angle, like a 10 or 20-degree angle. I usually sharpen my knife at a 45-degree angle. I'm trying to make my way through a pile of carrots and potatoes and celery and just everyday cooking. So what I do is I hold my knife or the stone, and I bend my wrist down so I don't come out and cut myself. And I just go at my 45-degree angle all the way down the blade. You want to keep nice, even pressure, and keep your angle the same. That's what takes practice. But you just do it. You do it over and over, and after a few times, you'll get much better at it. So I draw it from the base of the blade here all the way down to the tip, keeping the same amount of pressure and the same angle. Okay, and I do that 5 or 6 times. Then I turn the knife over and I do the same thing for the other side. Okay, and then of course, like I said, as you get more practice, you can do this a lot faster, but that's all right. If you're slow at first, don't worry about it. Okay, after I have used this stone, usually I do about 30 or 40, a total of 30 or 40 runs down each side of the knife. Then you want to use a ceramic stone, and this doesn't sharpen your knife, but what it does is it straightens the edge of your knife, because when you're using the blade, when you're sharpening the blade, that edge of the knife can be off just a little bit. So this helps get it back where it should be. So I want to try to show you here. Hopefully you can see there are 2 small pieces of ceramic kind of crossed over each other. And what you do is you set your knife in between them right here. Try to keep the knife straight up, and you just draw it through. And you don't have to use a lot of pressure when you're doing this. And I will usually do that about 20 times or so, just to straighten this edge. And then after that, you can feel a real difference. Gently wash the blade of your knife with soap and water when you're done, because you're going to have tiny microscopic little pieces of metal stuck to this knife, and you don't want that on your food. Okay. Now, something else that you'll sometimes see people use, and they'll use this generally right before they cook, is a ceramic toning stick. And this is the same thing as these two little guys that are crossed over. All this is doing is straightening the edge of your knife, and you can do that several times during your cooking if you're doing a whole lot of chopping. So with this, the same thing. You want to pick your angle. I use a 40 to 45 degree angle. You keep that angle all the way down the blade, and you just draw it down, and then put it around behind, and you've got the same angle here, and draw it down. So you just go back and forth, the same angle. Okay, and that will keep your knife sharp during your chopping if you find that it's dulling a little bit. But remember, like I said, always wash your blade with some soap and water carefully, because you don't want to cut yourself after doing any of this, because it's going to leave little tiny pieces of metal. And that's it on how to keep your chef knife sharp.